Hello, this is Jolly Gaming Panda, and today I will be covering the pros and cons of the Defender's armor, why it could be good to use, but how it could also be bad to use. The Defender armor is armor that you are able to use upon starting Monster Hunter World. This armor is meant to make the hunts early on in the game much easier. So there are a lot of pros and cons with this armor. It's good if you want to progress through the story at a fast pace, especially if, say, you have the Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion DLC and you want to get to that real quick. This armor could be helpful, but I would not recommend it for newcomers. I would not recommend it for newcomers because it kind of takes away learning how to play the game. With the armor, your defense is boosted to 50. And around when you start the game, your defense is usually anywhere from 1 to 8 defense, so it makes a difference. When you get knocked down by a monster, it's easy to get back up and to not rely on potions. But because of that, some players might not want to dodge the monsters when they attack you. It's very important to learn to dodge the monsters when they attack you and a lot of other things. What I would do you could use it if you're new to the game. I'm not saying you can't, but here are some tips for those who rely on the armor, but I would recommend that you do. So if you want to rely on the armor, go ahead, use it, have your character wear it, go into battle with it. It'll boost your defense quite a lot, and you won't have to worry about using potions nearly as frequently. But what I would recommend, rematch the monsters as much as you can. You should fight the monsters as often as you can and try to forge all of their armors. If there's weapons, go ahead and do that too. It'd be good for you to learn to forge weapons and armor early on in the game. You won't need to really wear this armor because Defender's armor has the most defense, but I think it's very important learning to forge this stuff because you cannot rely on Defender's armor forever. It's not gonna stick with you through the whole game. So what you should do, forge all the armors, the weapons, and during the hunts, and just try to learn about the stats and the special effects that outfits and weapons have. And that way, once you're far in on the game, you already know how to forge weapons, you know how to forge armor, so when you could finally, kind of like you're like a caterpillar, once you're able to stretch your wings like a butterfly, when you're finally able to just not even wear the Defender's armor, you know what to do, because you can't rely on the Defender's armor forever. So knowing how to play the game, understanding the armor, the stats, the weapons, that would be important. So I've heard a lot of things about this armor. It could be good and it could be bad. Some people recommend it because it'll help newcomers out, but at the same time it could hurt you if you try to avoid learning how to dodge attacks, how to forge both weapons and armor. It could be pretty bad. So I have checked out Reddit and there's quite a lot of talk on there if you also want to just check out this kind of stuff. I'm not going to provide a link, but pretty much if you Google whether the defender's armor is good or bad. You'll get a lot of mixed answers. Some people are proud of selling the defender's armor like it's a bad thing, but it's not exactly. It just speeds your progress through the story mode early on in the game. The armor won't be your buddy the whole game, but it helps you with the beginning. So if you want to just hurry up and get through the story and get to the Iceborne expansion DLC, or just be able to play with your friends who are a much higher Monster Hunter rank, trying to catch up with your friends, this armor is pretty good. I recommend it to myself and my friend. It's been helping the early process of the story mode. So, it's both good and bad, just do not rely on it the entire game. But the very start of the game, if you're in a rush for any reason, I would use it. But if you want to just go ahead, take your time. If you don't mind the lengthy hunts, you don't have to use it. Plus, if you connect online, you could team up with strong players. So you don't exactly have to rely on this armor. It's not necessary, but it's basically just an option if you want to quicken the pace of the game. Make it a little more smooth, kind of like it makes the game just a little easier when you're starting off. Oops. I accidentally defeated the Baroth in this video. I was supposed to capture it. Out of habit, I hunted it. Oops. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. Just if you were wondering, should I rely on the defender's armor or not? That's pretty much the pros and the cons of it. It's not a bad armor at all, just you can't use it. Like, don't expect to be able to use this armor in Iceborne or one of the really higher leveled Monster Hunter ranks. It's good for when you're starting out, but as you reach higher Monster Hunter ranks and you get to stronger monsters that you can face off against, it's definitely good to kind of peel out of your cocoon and stretch your butterfly wings and try out better armor. So definitely learn to forge stuff because it's gonna help you out later in the game. It's really good to learn that stuff early on instead of waiting last minute when you don't need the armor anymore. So thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If not, just Google it. Google whether the armor is good or bad, and there's all kinds of responses people give online that's pretty helpful. I wasn't so sure about the armor either, so I Googled it a bunch and decided for myself whether to rely on it or not. This isn't my first time playing Monster Hunter, so I already know how the game works. So that's kind of why I'm okay with using this armor, because I already have a good idea as far as forging and how the gameplay works. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.